Hello! Welcome to A9AYTZ2XYV, the best among the best. My name is Julie and I will be your instructor as we read through Enterprise Resource Planning Systems. The article source is embedded in the video description below. Feel free to read along. Please note that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay for as little as $10 a page at A9AYTZ2XYV. The link is in the description. The organization of work is divided into 7 parts where each part includes some sub-questions. The first introductory part contains 2 questions where the first questions contain the scope and objectives of the work, and second question contains a general description of ERP systems. The second part includes a short description and characteristics of each of these systems, MRP, MRPII, ERP, and how MRP evolved to become MRPII, and then to ERP existing today. The third part contains a short description of the companies which I made a case study. The fourth part says how to select a suitable ERP system and phases of implementation of ERP systems. The fifth part outlines some examples of companies that are downsizing their products and some differences in functions between the small and big ERP systems. Also contains some examples of where ERP is used outside manufacturing. The sixth part contains a summary of the current major ERP software vendors on the market. The seventh part has to do with an overall conclusion of the assignment. Keywords: ERP, Implementation, Benefits. Chapter 1, Introduction. Severe market competition has radically changed the business environment. As a result, companies need to reduce total costs, maximize return on investment, shorten lead times, and be more responsive to customer demands. Highly dynamic markets express their need for effective enterprise information systems to improve competitive advantage. Enterprise resource planning, ERP, is more and more important in modern business because of its ability to integrate the flow of material, finance, and information about supporting organizational strategies. 1.1 Objectives and Scopes of the Work. Background. The aim of this work is to learn how ERP systems take effect by early adopters in the industry and how they have been evolved. Also, we learn about the level of technical knowledge on the ERP systems, because we learn about their technology and application in industry and business. Finally, we get informed about the largest ERP suppliers on the market today and how much the implementation of such systems cost. 1.2 General description and historical and statistical data. The acronym ERP, which mean Information Systems of Company Resources Management. An ERP is a set of software applications that can monitor the central and remote facilities of an enterprise. These integrated information systems attempt to automate business processes related to economic, management of supply chain, manufacturing, and electronic commerce. So this enables the integration of all applications of a company seeking to improve operating procedures designed to increase productivity and save operational funds. Technology to ERP is a composition by integrated software applications through a database linking procedures, cases, enterprise, and a technological infrastructure of a system consisting of 1. Synchronous architects, client/server. 2. Database. 3. Graphic user communications system. 4. Tools management implementation. Businesses have a wide scope of applications and processes throughout their functional units. Producing ERP software systems that are typically complex and usually impose significant changes on staff work practices. Implementing ERP software is typically too complex for in-house skill, so it is desirable and highly advised to hire outside consultants who are professionally trained to implement these systems. This is typically the most cost-effective way. There are 3 types of services that may be employed for: consulting, customization, support. The length of time to implement an ERP system depends on the size of the business, the number of modules, the extent of customization, and the scope of the change and the willingness of the customer to take ownership for the project. ERP systems are modular, so they don't all need be implemented at once. It can be divided into various stages, or phase-ins. The typical project is about 14 months and requires around 150 consultants. A small project, for example, a company of less than 100 staff, can be planned and delivered within 3 to 9 months. However, a large, multi-site or multi-country implementation can take years. The length of the implementations is closely tied to the amount of customization desired. To implement ERP systems, companies often seek the help of an ERP vendor or of third-party consulting companies. These firms typically provide 3 areas of professional services: consulting, customization, and support. The client organization can also employ independent program management, business analysis, change management, and UAT specialists to ensure their business requirements remain a priority during implementation. Data migration is one of the most important activities in determining the success of an ERP implementation. Since many decisions must be made before migration, a significant amount of planning must occur. Unfortunately, data migration is the last activity before the production phase of an ERP implementation, and therefore receives minimal attention due to time constraints. The following are steps of a data migration strategy that can help with the success of an ERP implementation. 1. Identifying the data to be migrated to. Determining the timing of data migration. 3. Generating the data templates. 4. Freezing the tools for data migration. 5. Deciding on migration-related setup. 6. Deciding on data archiving. Historical data of ERP. 1960s Enterprise Resource Planning, ERP, is born in the early 1960s from a joint effort between A9AYTZ2XYV, the manufacturer of tractors and other construction machinery, and partner IBM. Material Requirements Planning, or MRP, is the initial effort. This application software serves as a method for planning and scheduling materials for complex manufactured products. 1970s initial MRP solutions are big, clumsy, and expensive. They require a large technical staff to support the mainframe computers on which they run. 1972, 5 engineers in Mannheim, Germany begin the company, SAP, Systemanalyse und Programmentwicklung. The purpose in creating SAP is to produce and market standard software for integrated business solutions. 1975, Richard Lawson, Bill Lawson, and business partner, John Chirolo begin Lawson Software. The founders see the need for prepackaged enterprise technology solutions as an alternative to customized business software applications. 1976, in the manufacturing industry, MRP, Material Requirements Planning, becomes the fundamental concept used in production management and control. 1977, Jack Thompson, Dan Gregory, and Ed McVinney form J.D. Edwards. Each founder takes part of their name to create the company moniker. Larry Ellison begins Oracle Corporation. 1978, January, Bond begins the Bond Corporation to provide financial and administrative consulting services. 1979, Oracle offers the first commercial SQL relational database management system. 1980, J.D. Edwards begins focusing on the IBM System/38 in the early 1980s. MRP, Manufacturing Resources Planning, evolves into MRPII as a more accessible extension to shop floor and distribution management activities. 1981, Bond begins to use Unix as their main operating system. 1982, Bond delivers its first software product. J.D. Edwards focuses on the IBM System/38. 1983, Oracle offers both a VAX Mode database as well as a database written entirely in C, for portability. 1984, Bond shifts the focus of their development to manufacturing. 1985, J.D. Edwards is recognized as an industry-leading supplier of application software for the highly successful IBM AS/400 computer, a direct descendant of the System/38. 1987, PeopleSoft is founded by Dave Duffield and Ken Morris in 1987. 1988, PeopleSoft's Human Resource Management System, HRMS, is developed. 1990, Bond software is rolled out to 35 countries through indirect sales channels. The term ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, is coined in the early 1990s when MRPII is extended to cover areas like engineering, finance, human resources, and project management. 1991, PeopleSoft sets up offices in Canada. This leads the way to their presence in Europe, Asia, Africa, Central and South America, and the Pacific Rim. 1995, Bond grows to more than 1,800 customers worldwide and over 1,000 employees. 1999, J.D. Edwards has more than 4,700 customers with sites in over 100 countries. Oracle has 41,000 customers worldwide, 16,000 US. PeopleSoft software is used by more than 50% of the human resources market. SAP is the world's largest enterprise software company and the world's fourth largest independent software supplier overall. SAP employs over 20,500 people in more than 50 countries. To date, have been implemented at approximately 4,800 sites around the world. 2001-9/11 occurs, creating a drop in demand for new ERP systems. 2002 Most ERP systems are enhancing their products to become internet-enabled so that customers worldwide can have direct access to the supplier's ERP system. 2004 Services-oriented architecture, SOA, becomes a standard that ERP vendors work towards. This software architecture allows different systems to communicate between one another. Statistical data: the sales increase of ERP shows its acceptability. In 1989, total sales for MRPII was $1.2 billion and represented 1/3 of total software sales in USA. Global sales for the 10 leading provider of ERP was $2.8 billion in 1995, $4.2 billion in 1996 and $5.8 billion in 1997. Only SAP sold $3.3 billion in 1997. See figures 1 and 2. 2.1 Short description and characteristics of each of these systems. Material Requirements Planning, MRP, is a software-based production planning and inventory control system used to manage manufacturing processes. Although it is not common nowadays, it is possible to conduct MRP by hand as well. The MRP is a system closed loop that focuses on two dimensions of production control: the quantities and synchronizes. Two system must determine the appropriate quantities of production of all components of the end products sold and ingredients used to synthesize the final product. Up the raw materials must acquire the production. Have to determine the timing of production to the required delivery date. Two basic characteristics of MRP. 1. MRP derives demand for components, sub-assemblies, materials, etc., from demand for and production schedules of parent items. 2. MRP offsets replenishment orders, purchase orders or production schedules, relative to the date when replenishment is needed. MRP inputs: 1. Master production schedule. 2. Product structure. 3. Inventory levels. MRP outputs: 1. Purchasing requirements. 2. Transfer requirements. 3. Production requirements. A simple sketch of an MRP system is shown in figure. Source: www.ntliitem.ac.in. Manufacturing Resource Planning, MRP2, is defined by APICS as a method for the effective planning of all resources of a manufacturing company. Ideally, it addresses operational planning in units, financial planning in dollars, and has a simulation capability to answer what-if questions and extension of closed loop. This is not exclusively a software function, but a marriage of people skills, dedication to database accuracy, and computer resources. It is a total company management concept for using human resources more productively. The characteristics of the MRPII system is that you can run and other functions such as demand management, forecasting, planning capacity, the main plan of production, management and capacity requirements of integrated production control at all stages. Enterprise Resource Planning, ERP, is an industry term for the broad set of activities that helps a business manages the grave parts of its business. The information made available an ERP system provides visibility for key performance indicators, KPIs, required for meeting corporate objectives. ERP software functions can be used to manage product planning, parts purchasing, inventories, interacting with suppliers, providing customer service, and tracking orders. ERP can contain application modules for the finance and human resources aspects of a business. Typically, an ERP system uses or is integrated with a relational database system. The characteristics of the ERP are: package software, seamless, integrate the major business's process the majority of an organization's transactions. Use a data warehouse. Allow access to data in real time. Integrated transaction processing and planning activities. Financial information is often generated automatically by ERP systems based on the data previously entered, without further human instruction. It is difficult to make changes after an ERP system has been implemented. ERP requires business process re-engineering as a precursor to its introduction because ERP systems are sent around the world best exercise business rules. Before starting implementation, the phase of gap analysis must be completed to reduce the cost of implementation. An ERP system should be flexible to respond to the changing needs of an organization. ERP system has to have open system architecture. This means that any module can be interfaced or detached whenever required without affecting the other modules. It should be support hardware platforms for the companies having heterogeneous collection of system. It have to support some third-party add-ons also. It must have collection of the best business processes applicable worldwide. Last but not least, it must simulate the reality of business processes on the computers. In no way it should have the control beyond the business processes, and it must be able to assign accountabilities to the users controlling the system. 2.2 Evolution MRP, MRPII, ERP today. The production systems in the 1960s gave attention to stock control, so the firms have been able to keep high stock levels to satisfy all customers and be competitive. In 1970, firms were unable to hold large stocks, so this led the companies the development of the system for estimating the material requirements, which called MRP. While this system has helped companies plan production, it had some major drawbacks, such as the problem with MRP systems is the integrity of the data. If there are any errors in the inventory data, the bill of materials, commonly referred to as BOM data, or the master production schedule, then the outputted data will also be incorrect. Most vendors of this type of system recommend at least 99% data integrity for the system to give useful results. Another problem with MRP systems is the requirement that the user specify how long it will take a factory to make a product from its component parts, assuming they are all available. Additionally, the system design also assumes that this lead time in manufacturing will be the same each time the item is made, without regard to quantity being made, or other items being made simultaneously in the factory. A manufacturer may have factories in different cities or countries. It is no good for an MRP system to say that we do not need to order some material because we have plenty thousands of miles away. The overall ERP system needs to be able to organize inventory and needs by individual factory, and intercommunicate needs in order to enable each factory to redistribute components in order to serve the overall enterprise. So this led in 1980 to increased use of computers, which allowed the development functions that were linked to economics activities. Companies so created in 1980 a new information system which called MRPII, Manufacturing Resource Planning, which combined the management of materials financial management. Transition from MRPII to ERP happened during 1980-90. The basic MRP2 system design was suffering from a few inherent drawbacks, such as limited focus to manufacturing activities, assumption of the mass or repetitive production setups, and poor budgetary and costing controls. The shortcomings of MRP2 and the need to integrate new techniques led to the development of a total integrated solution called ERP, which attempts to integrate the transactions of the organization to produce the best possible plan. Today we see further development in the ERP concept and evolution. Web-based ERP. Chapter 3, ERP Implementation Case Study 1. Case Study 2. Case Study 1. Syngenta Hellas is a multinational company which was founded in 1992 and headquartered in Switzerland and employs 19,000 employees. Word. In Greece, created in 2000 and employs 48 workers. The factory located in Oinofita. 1. Products and services. Pharmaceuticals products. 2. Revenue, Euro 4,126,933. 3. Website, www.syngenta.com. 4. Implementation partner, SAP needs the system and the computer-based procedures are currently used in Syngenta Hellas have been analyzed. The most of these procedures are very helpful and effective combination of Access and Excel programming in order to organize the department's work and produce the required reports. Although it is well understood, the big number of problems can be occurred since these applications are not integrated with other systems. This means that most of data originating from other systems must be manually get updated. This problem occurs between different systems as well. Also, the existing system is characterized by a significant number of errors and problems. the system's reliability is poorly and there is a high probability of a corruption fault. Moreover, the system does not include fault tolerance facilities which would allow the system to remain operational after a system fault or possible corruption. Finally, if the company will continue to operate under the existing system, the data flow will remain dependent on applications which can be only controlled and operated by their creator. All these can be summarized in the following points. We need the flexibility, major gaps in functionality, gap in operations and information cycles, low system reliability evaluation. This phase consists of 2 steps. In the first step, a project team was formed. It consisted of top managers or decision makers, executive managers, stockholders, functional experts, users or their representatives. The project team then had to model business processes and re-engineer them as much as possible. During the processes analysis period, the functional characteristics of required ERP software are recognized to some extent. In the second step, as much information about ERP vendors and systems as possible were gathered from all possible sources including the internet, magazines, exhibitions and so on. Initial requirements of the desired system were submitted to the vendor's representatives and they were requested to respond to related questions included in questionnaires or checklists. After receiving the responses, the clearly unqualified vendors were eliminated based on the responses. Therefore, the project team, after a detailed examination, some ERP vendor took the decision that SAP platform is better solution for the company. It can very expensive solution but it was very rateability. ERP implementation blueprint phase, interrogation all business units and functions, where the key users of each unit together with the responsible consultant, analyze and document all working scenarios in detail and finally propose the parameterization and functionality of the system to be implemented. The problems that occurred in this stage were, the key users used to refer to the common daily practice and forgot to refer exceptions that occurred once or twice per year. As a result, the full parameterization of the system be prevented. The proposed system functionality, as was presented by the consultant, was hard to understand by the key users because of their lack of basic knowledge of software engineering practices. Development phase. At this phase, the documented blueprints were converted into software implementation and each scenario was tested separately to the key user and the consultant. The problem in this phase was again the cross-checking and cooperation between different business areas. Unification test. In this phase, a sample of data had loaded to the system in order to check the interoperability of the functions and the working scenarios thoroughly. The main problem of this phase was the time span allocate, as it was not possible to arrange a complete set of data, as demanded by SAP functionality. In order for an integration test to be successful and checked in detail, the users should dedicate at least a 2-month period checking the system compared to their working requirements. This phase was very important because it allows modification before final operation of the system. Data migration. The final phase of data migration involves raw data preparation, check-in validation, uploading and final verification. This is the most difficult part of the implementation, especially when a company has a lot of raw materials, customers and vendors. Because SAP implementation has the ability to organize any data under various hierarchies and groupings. Benefits planning. Production orders are processed faster, resulting in better control for the work-in-process inventories. Communication. Efficient communication between the different departments of company, so we have accurate transmission data. Improved customer service. The great degree of integration has as a result the better synchronization amongst forecasting, production planning and logistics inventory planning. This sequentially has led to better customer service and to a smaller amount of lost sales, while salespeople are now focused on selling products rather than apologizing for company insufficiencies. Strategic decisions case study. 2AS Automation Systems is a small constructive company, which founded in 1996 and is located in Thessaloniki. The company employs 15 employees from who 10 are automation engineers. The Automation Systems is the first company which implemented in Greece a full automated production control system in the dairy industry, with a surprising low cost, and it keeps on offering new technologies. Revenue, 2.097.189, 39 for the year 2008. Site, WWW's needs. The problems which constrained the company to put an ERP were: the first problem was the use of various software packages and documents that led to less effective and time-consuming processes. The data were introduced to several applications with the danger of finally losing the information. The accounting application in use since 1996 failed in integrating the cost, profit, and revenue information needed from a growing company. The flow of information between the departments was really poor. There was a high administrative cost concerning issuing results which lack in accuracy. The usage of older programs was not particularly far from the handwritten registration process of a corporate transaction. In addition, the means of storage of that program was less safe. That is, float disks. Afterwards, it is extremely important that that program was not functional, as a keyboard was necessary for conducting many commands and thus applications, whereas the mousepad was not used. From the above problems, the companies started to do market research for the establishment of new ERP systems for cost accounting management, having visited many IT companies, finally selecting Momentum ERP software, which established was company Logismo's information systems. Benefits from ERP implementation: in terms of operations, ERP made us reorganize many processes and aim in finding the best possible. Moreover, the majority of processes were integrated. There was a great improvement in the quality of the financial information as well. Financial planning became a much effortless procedure, having all the necessary information from all the departments in a common base. The flow of the information between the departments became much easier and more efficient. 1. Better assessment of the stock of the company. 2. Calculation of cost of sales accurately. 3. Better pricing. 4. Calculation of gross profit per item. 5. Calculation of traffic flow reserve. 6. Look like your options appear in the form of a list of options, with easy-to-use and operator-friendly environment. 7. Reports modulated by the operator and create shortcuts. 8. Bridges data exchange with other programs for further processing. For example, Excel the information about case study to obtain by account manager of the company. Chapter 4. ERP Selection and Implementation. 4.1 How to select a suitable ERP system. According to the studies by both companies and any other information, the installation of information system bear many changes in the function of company. So the selections a suitable information system which cover the needs of businesses and improves the efficiency of the company is a basic process. I believe that the first basic step to select an information system, and according to information from the study of companies, is that any company that wants to install an information system makes an open competition where ERP software vendors send their tenders. Should be researched by the company how far they satisfy all their functions across the system. Research how far the system can correspond in various trade activities. Research how far the system have the ability to adapt to the characteristics of company. Research how far the investment is optimized. In retrospect, the above the crucial factors for the selection of an ERP system are: careful selection of software that correspond to future needs of business. Designing a supplier which includes some procedures such as to obtain lists of potential vendors, use internet searches, contact your accountant, contact colleagues, contact consultants, contact industry associations, look at trade journals for articles and advertisements, attend trade shows, find a good reseller. The reseller or value-added reseller VAR/implementer can make a big difference. Often, companies selecting new systems spend a lot of time analyzing the product and the vendor, but not enough time analyzing the capabilities of the VAR. Call references. You will be amazed at how much you learn and how little some of the vendors know their customers. Have a checklist of questions to ask so that you don't forget anything. See below for a more detailed discussion on reference checking. Tell the reference a little about yourself before asking any questions so that they have a level of comfort with you. Know the total cost of ownership, TCO. You need to understand all the costs including license fees, implementation, support, hardware, networks and communications before making a decision. Rich end-to-end functionality. Select an ERP solution which covers almost all the major requirements of companies in one single solution, that is financial management, sales marketing, customer relationship management, purchase order management, trade and logistics, inventory management, production planning and control, human resource management and MIS system for promoters, directors, senior management, and head of the departments. Adaptable and customizable. Select an ERP which should always be adaptable and easily customizable, which helps organization to international scope. Select an ERP on which your company can work locally as well as globally, which means it should be able to meet not only all statutory and local regulatory requirements, wherever it is being used, but should be able to handle multiple languages, multiple currency scenarios too. It should also allow intercompany postings, consolidate reporting, automatic currency conversion, and should be easily deployable with international scope. User-friendliness. Select an ERP solution which should be easy to use, easy to implement and easy to maintain. 4.2 Phases of implementation. Initially, the installation and life cycle of a system ERP different not only in implementation but the level of company. So it is important for workers and suppliers and those involved in the project to get a complete picture of the implementation of any system. There are sundry stages of ERP implementation system which are 1. Pre-evaluation screening. Once the company has decided to install the ERP system, the search for the package must start. As there are hundreds of packages, it is always better to do a thorough and detailed evaluation of a small number of packages than doing analysis of dozens of packages. This stage will be useful in eliminating those packages that are not suitable for the business process. 2. Evaluation package. This stage is considered an important phase of the ERP implementation, as the package that one choice will decide the success or failure of the project. Implementation of an ERP involves huge investments and it is not easy to switch between different packages, so the right thing is do it right the first time. Once the packages to be evaluated are identified, the company needs to develop selection criteria that permit the evaluation of all the available packages on the same scale. 3. Project planning. This is the phase that designs the implementation process. It is in this phase that the details of how to go about the implementation are decided. Time schedules, deadlines, etc. for the project are arrived at. The plan is developed, roles are identified and responsibilities are assigned. It will also decide when to begin the project, how to do it and at completion. 4. Gap analysis. This is considered the most pivotal phase for the success of ERP implementation. This is the process through which the companies create a complete model of where they are now, and in which direction will they opt in the future. It has been estimated that even the best packages will only meet 80% of the company's requirements. The remaining 20% presents problematic subjects for the company's re-engineering. 5. Re-engineering. It is in this phase that human factors are taken into consideration. While every implementation is going to involve a significant change in number of employees and their job responsibilities, as the process becomes more automated and efficient, it is best to treat ERP as an investment as well as cost-cutting measure. 6. Team training. Training is also an important phase in the implementation, which takes place along with the process of implementation. This is the phase where the company trains its employees to implement and later, run the system. So it is vital for the company to choose the right employee who has the right attitude, people who are prone to change, learn new things. 7. Testing. This is the phase where one tries to break the system. One has reached a point where the company is testing the real case scenarios. The system is configured and now you must come up with extreme cases like system overloads, multiple users logging on at the same time, users entering invalid data, hackers trying to access restricted areas and so on. 8. Post-implementation. When the implementation is over, the vendor and the hired consultants will go. To reap the fruit of the implementation, it is very important that the system has big acceptance. There should be enough employees who are trained to handle problems that crops up time to time. The system must be updated with the change in technology. The post-implementation will need a different set of roles and skills than those with less integrated kind of systems. Chapter 5, ERP Suitability 5.1 Many ERP software vendors are downsizing their products. The ERP software companies, in order to make their product more flexible and user-friendly, care of that consist of subsystems, so that each company can install any application need. Suppliers aim to downsizing their products to attract small companies that need small ERPs to improve their operation. Some subsystems which create the ERP software vendors are manufacturing, sales, purchasing and transportation management, financial management, fixed assets management, project management, inventory management, human resource management. Below figure. For example, a big software vendor Microsoft has created different subsystems such as the Microsoft Dynamics GP, NAV, SL, X, which corresponding different types of companies. Figure. Source http://www.softwareadvice.com/ Articles. The differences in functions of a small information system than a larger system are that the small ERP system has fewer maintenance costs. Also is more flexible the operation and use. The employees need little time education to learn a small ERP system, so it is more economical for the company. 5.2 ERP SFO are manufacturing and services. Today the ERP software is used outside manufacturing such as hospital, hotel, software industry, telecommunications, hospitality. I will mention a few examples of whether the use ERP software has helped the hospitality and software industry, how ERPs helped hospitality. Hospitality industry is an extremely competitive area. Hospital companies that experience ERP failure needs to analyze the reasons properly. It is important to have an extra edge and constantly update in order to thrive in the industry. ERP has gone a long way in helping this industry to give the impetus for better functioning. Facilitating communication. Even though there were facilities like intercom, telephone and computer reservation in hotels and travel agency respectively, their operations were eased with the intervention of enterprise resource planning. This tool helped them to get the needed information at the right time and at the right place. Flowchart and ERP have a close resemblance. The added advantage of enterprise resource planning is that they enabled individual departments to take the required actions independently. Even if they had to consult some other department, it was not necessary as the information were available by a click of mouse. This differentiates it from the companies that experience ERP failure. Helps to obtain concrete and constant information. Prior to the intervention of ERP, there was a lot of confusions among departments in a hotel when it came to final billing. The ultimate beneficiary was the customer in the case of wrong billing. Since ERP helped to maintain a common database, these troubles have been removed. Helps to decide rewards and performances. ERP has been instrumental in analyzing the contribution of a particular department or enterprise. Prior to ERP, it was very difficult to make assessments on the basis of performance. ERP has helped the hoteliers and tourist agents to know individual or organizational contribution by referring the particular parameter in the functional database. How ERP helps in software sector. Enterprise resource planning is software that helps in the day-to-day functioning of the software industry. ERP's function and benefits have a lot of significance as far as this sector is considered. In one sense, it is very easy for the software industry to make use of the application as they are purely IT-oriented in terms of functional and technical expertise. In addition, ERP renders multiple benefits to the software sector. Facilitates better functioning. An ERP software vendor helps the software sector to function in a better and more productive manner. In fact, ERP features are like adding a feather in the existing hat of the industry. Even though there are inherent communication facilities in the computer systems, ERP added value to them by increasing the scope of their application and additional services by its specialty, namely connectivity and coordination. Execution of deadlines. The IT industry is well known for the high pressures and tough environment. People of all cadres work on tough assignments and in stipulated time. The projects usually involve a lot of coordination, and that too from the senior management to the managers and from them to the executives and programmers, and all within the shortest span of time. The time factors have cost the fortunes of many companies and have even made the others to pay hefty penalties in lawsuits for non-compliance of the project within the time. There seemed to be no end to the harassment faced by them in the name of quick bucks. It is not fair to question them because any business faces deadlines, and there can be justification in giving the shortest possible time in an industry equipped with the latest facilities. There was no clue on where things went wrong. ERP software vendors have helped to change this to a considerable extent by offering the app solutions for coordination and execution of the projects in a shorter time and swifter manner. It only helped to perform at a faster rate and eased the pressures faced by companies that were more or less pathetic. ERP package software was the only remedy to them. In fact, even they could not initially understand why are so popular. Ensures proper use at this point is not only an advantage of the IT industry but also the advantage of the IT industry to ERP. IT industry enjoys an advantage with regards to using ERP. The point is that the employees will not require much of training or orientation on basic issues since they are technical and any sane person working on the software programs must already be aware of the same. On the other hand, when it comes to highly complex issues, they will be able to grasp it immediately with ease as they are from technical background. This is like two-way traffic. Chapter 6, ERP Suppliers. The market today. There are several vendors, Greek and foreign companies' ERP software. The most important of these are, foreign companies' ERP software are, SAP is a multinational software development and consulting corporation, which provides enterprise software applications and support to businesses of all sizes globally. Headquartered in Waldorf, Germany, with regional offices around the world, SAP is, as of 2009, the largest software enterprise in Europe and the fourth largest software enterprise in the world. The company's best-known product is its SAP Enterprise Resource Planning, SAP ERP, software. Founded and headquartered in Newcastle upon Tyne, United Kingdom, the company initially grew organically, but more recently has grown primarily through acquisitions. It now operates worldwide. The company's U.S. headquarters are in Irvine, California. The Canadian headquarters are in Vancouver, Canada, and the French and continental European headquarters are in Paris, France. Microsoft Corporation is a multinational computer technology corporation that develops, manufactures, licenses, and supports a wide range of software products for computing devices. Headquartered in Redmond, Washington, USA, its most profitable products are the Microsoft Windows operating system and the Microsoft Office suite of productivity software. SSA Global Technologies, previous NASDAQ symbol, SSAG, was a company developing enterprise resource planning, ERP, software. On May 15, 2006, SSA Global announced that it would be acquired by Infra Global Solutions. Ellison took inspiration from the 1970 paper written by Edgar F. Codd on Relational Database Management Systems, RDBMS, named the Relational Model of Data for Large Shared Data Banks. 8. He had heard about the IBM System R database from an article in the IBM Research Journal provided by A9AYTZ, a future co-founder of Oracle Corporation. System R also derived from Codd's theories, and Ellison wanted to make his Oracle product compatible with System R, but IBM stopped this by keeping the error codes for the DBMS secret. Ellison co-founded Oracle Corporation in 1977 under the name Software Development Laboratories, SDL. In 1979, SDL changed its name to Relational Software, Incorporated. Epicor develops a range of enterprise software targeted at mid-market companies primarily in the manufacturing, distribution, retail, hospitality and services industries. The company is headquartered in Irvine, California and was founded in 1984 as Platinum Software Corporation. In the late 1990s, executives made some strategic acquisitions to help evolve Platinum from a provider of financial accounting systems to a provider of end-to-end enterprise solutions. Greek's ERP software companies are Symantec, founded in 1997. The bulk of the work is to develop business software and computerized business. Mundo. The company Mundo is based in Thessaloniki and is active in technology to develop, promote and provide high-level IT solutions, quality and technology. Singular Logic. The Singular Logic is one of the strongest software group and integrated solutions informatics in Greece. Logizmos Information Systems SA. The company is founded under the name Mechanologistiki Ltd. Logizmos creates the first computer service bureau in which the first private sector's computer, IBM mainframe, in northern Greece is installed. The bureau provides its services 24 hours a day. In that perspective, Logizmos actually constitutes the IT department of its customers, banks and corporations. Now I will mention some prices implementing ERPs depending on the size of company. Because of this correlation between size of company and total costs, Our side-by-side comparison includes the average number of users by software vendor. Although both SAP and Oracle were represented by a significant number of smaller companies, the predominance of larger companies drives the average number of users much higher than Lawson, QAD and Infor. However, even though we saw the general cost per user dropping with larger installations, Oracle and SAP customers paid on average more than companies with smaller numbers of users from our other 3 vendors. Since the average size of our 5 vendors varied significantly, we have attempted to provide some close comparisons based on our overall averages by company size and general numbers of users. Table 3 places each vendor between the next lower average number of users and the next higher from Table 1. We observe Inform, Lawson and QAD significantly beating the averages that bracket their average numbers of users, while SAP and Oracle are significantly higher. Chapter 7, Conclusions and Prospects. We can come to the conclusion, according to the above analysis, that the implementation of ERP systems not only in industrial sector, but also in other sectors, it is highly essential to the improvement of competitiveness among industrial and other sectors companies. So, ERP suppliers continuously multiply in number and they update their services in order to approach more and more businesses which are involved in a demanding and changing competitive economic environment. References cites www.urbanmore.com accessed in November 24, 2009, www.wikipedia.org accessed in November 24, 2009, www.urbsolution.com accessed in November 26, 2009, http circsab tech target Comachest in March 12, 2009, www.warnelf.com accessed in April 12, 2009, http menshell natachest in May 12, 2009, www.rewire.com accessed in July 12, 2009, Davenport, T. 2000, Mission Critical, Realizing the Promise of Enterprise Systems, Harvard Business School Press, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Georgiano, 2006, Integrate Systems Management Operational, 379 papers, Stamoulis. $S software $S per user average. We are the world's most loved study website. Better still, membership is free. Please be aware that the free essay that you were just reading was not written by us. This essay, and all of the others available to view on the website, were provided to us by students in exchange for services that we offer. This relationship helps our students to get an even better deal while also contributing to the biggest free essay resource in the UK. If you are the original writer of this essay and no longer wish to have the essay published on the UK Essays website, then please click on the link below to request removal. Request the removal of this essay. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you enjoyed learning about enterprise resource planning systems as much as I did. Kindly remember that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay at All A+ Essays for as little as $10. The link is in the description. See you next time.